guests of today's session, Professor Maruti and other two distinguished guests, global invitees, participants, and organizers of the today's session. I am not giving statistics of the environmental changes as our chief guest, today's chief guest, has given some of the statistics and acts. I am not giving in that line. To understanding climate change, it is very difficult, but it is inevitable also. I am not giving the statistics, I have already told you. You see, over 100 years, as a earth scientist and environmental geologist, I can say the earth as it is having the globe, earth is having axis. Okay, so that axis has changed now due to its movement. Entire earth is moving. So axis has changed over until now. I mean, 2000, that has started, century. So that century, new century, the statistic is 2 degrees has been tilted, the earth, entire earth. You imagine, if the earth axis, entire earth has tilted 2 degrees, what will be the effect on the environment? Because every day we are facing the sun energy, isn't it? So that's how the global warming and climate change has happened. For example, last week in Mysore and Bangalore and southern India, Karnataka and these places, we had it in Mysore. We had it in a 40 degree. Professor Maruti know that one. And your organizer is also know that one. 40-degree temperature a day, 3-4 days. After that, immediately rain has come. Yesterday, a lot of rain. This is also very important for the climate. We got very hot sun around about 40 degree. So after that, we received a very good rain yesterday in Mysore itself, even in Bangalore, and some place of Karnataka last week. Lot of rain. Whatever it may be. So we have to consider for this climate change, basically a topography of that area. I mean, entire earth. You can consider as an entire earth or a particular place. For example, Afghanistan. Example, India or any other country. So it's very important, that is a topography and people of the area, and topography means like mountains, rivers, lakes, natural features, whatever it may be, or a soil or a water or a rock like that. That is very important. Why I am giving this example? See, in Afghanistan and parts of surrounding countries, most of the countries are the desert. See, desert area only, no vegetation at all, much when compared to India and other countries, Western countries. There is no much vegetation. But we heard that yesterday also and last week also, before last week. There was a flood in Dubai. Flood in Dubai. All these things are the variation of the climate. Climate change. Climate is changing. Yes, climate is changing. Even I am observing as an earth scientist, I am observing in India particularly, seasons also changed. Based on the climate, seasons also changed. In the month of May, we had it that plants, big trees in Mysore city, May flowering trees. But this is already May, no flower at all. It has already gone. In the month of March itself, we had it, that May flowering season. You see the climate change, how it is changing. And every year, we used to get lot of rain in Mysore, Bangalore, and southern Karnataka, particularly, and southern India. These days, no rain at all. No rain at all. Yesterday only we received first rain in this rainy season. We used to have 3 seasons in India, like rainy season, winter season, and summer season. But other countries, Western countries, only 2 seasons, winter and summer. All these because of climate change. So we should have first peace. To understand the climate change, how it is changing, peace is very important. Means there should not be any violence. Violence means wars. Yeah, number one. Peace is very important. Then, neighbor countries. If you want to have a particular region on the globe, the neighbor region should be quiet, means peace. Otherwise, the entire thing, people will be disturbed, the area will be disturbed and destroyed, and climate will also changes. Climate will also changes. Because of that, we have to protect our area in the form of we, the generation, people, lives. We have to protect our land, our earth, in the form of avoiding the wars and destroying the natural features. That is, very important thing is forest. Forest is, vegetation is very, very important for the environment. So I can give a Switzerland example. You see, in Switzerland, there is no soil at all. We cannot see soil. We can see at the mountain top only rocks. After the rock, immediately vegetation. That vegetation on the soil only. How the climate is there. In Himalaya, in India, Himalaya, how the climate is there. So based on that, we have to protect our natural things first, then we can save our environment in good environment. So it involves, you see, urban environment. Urban environment is very, very important. For example, very big cities in India, Delhi. So Delhi has joined Noida and all the places around Delhi. So it has become a very, very big city. There is no vegetation. So urban development is another one point, another one thing is to change the climate. Change the climate. Okay. So we have to avoid, so extending the urban area, layouts. We have to control that. We can go for the vertical growth. So extending is definitely avoid, isn't it? So that is very important. The other thing, water resource. Water resource. Now, as a earth scientist, I want to say, if you are going like this only, there will be no groundwater at all in future. In Mysore and Bangalore, if you put a borewell for the drinking water purpose, every house they want a borewell. Why? Not necessary. That has to be avoided in any city, any for individual house. They are asking individual borewell. It is not necessary. Individual layout may be having a borewell. From that borewell, they can supply the water. We have to avoid the digging the borewells. You can ask the question, what about irrigation? For irrigation purpose, 1 acre, 1 borewell. Finish. If you have an old borewell, don't give the permission. You have to avoid. That is about the natural resources. We can avoid that naturally the water resources we can avoid utilizing. That is frequently, unnecessarily, we are using that groundwater on the earth. How many borewells they have digged on the earth? You see, for example, last year I heard that all the rivers in Western countries should dried because of digging the groundwater, exploring the groundwater. We have to avoid and save the groundwater first and recharge the borewells. That is one thing. So we can avoid a climate to become hot and hot. We can avoid that one. Vegetation, growing the vegetation and water and all those things. Finally, environmental governance. That is very, very important. We have ministries. All the countries we have ministries. Some organizations also. They have to give the message to the people. You live like this. Don't use this one. Don't spoil the nature. Like that, they have to give all these. The governance is very important. Unless governance is not there, so we cannot change that. We cannot avoid that climate is going to become a very hot climate. And another one thing, it's a basic thing everyone should know and know. We are also knowing it. That is ozone zone, ozone layer. We should not spoil that layer, but the people are spoiling the layer. One or the other way. Because we are launching the satellites. Based on the satellites also, ozone layer is going. It will become a hole. So then ultraviolet rays will reach immediately to the Earth's surface. Definitely. Temperature will rise and climate change will be there. Climate change means you have to consider why the surface of the earth is hotter and hotter. Why it's that one should know. And for all these things, education is very important. Education is also very important. If you give the good education on the earth and earth environment, the people will know, and then everyone will be saving our environment, good environment. For anything, if we decide, human being, Professor Bharati has said already this one, human being is very important because animals and plants, They are not talking. They don't have an idea of a knowledge of talking and deciding. We, the people, we are deciding people, we have to take risk and concern about the global warming and climate changes. I thank, with this, I thank all the organizers and giving the opportunity to say a few words about this climate, global climate change. So I am giving the message to the organizers as well as participants. After this conference, so we should decide what will be the good message to the public